Hey guys, Ryan Dawson is with us now. What's up,
Howdy.
Ryan? How's it going,
What
man?
show is this? I'm sorry. I've been on so many. I forget.
Oh, it's all
It's the
good, dude.
Paranormies.
This is the Paranormies.
Okay, cool.
We're the actual conspiracy show that TRS has on. Those guys like to kind of, make fun of conspiracies, but here we like to entertain.
They didn't. They didn't when I was on. Everybody capitulated.
Oh man!
Well, yeah, they'll
But
do
I
it
think
because
that's
those
because
cuckolds
there's
think the moon
conspiracy
landing
and there's
actually
kook-
happened.
There's conspiracy and kookspiracy.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So hey, happy 9/11, dude. It's 17 years now,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Did you guys drink any 9/11s?
No.
What's
It's
a
a
9/11?
Manhattan. It's a Manhattan with 2 kamikazes.
Oh.
Oh, if I had gone to the bar, I totally would have.
That
You
I
need to go there and ask.
saving that
Go there
for
and
next
ask
year.
for one.
That's a good one.
Or you can ask them for a Holocaust. No, actually, you know what? I'm gonna.
Now I
not
want to know
tell
what
jokes.
that is.
Uh,
No.
Well,
I
you
want to
can't have one
hear
of
what
those.
that was.
Well,
it doesn't exist. It's not a real
exactly.
drink. No, I'm just kidding.
I was just gonna say that. That's a good one.
This one everyone talks
I like
about,
that
no
one.
one's ever seen. No.
Nice.
Speaking of the Holocaust, I literally just came across another Irene Zisblatt piece today, and I'm looking for
Oh.
it. Yeah,
Shit
That-
diamonds?
that's the poop diamonds. That's my favorite poop diamonds.
Yeah, I went down that rabbit hole and out again. But well, tell me, what was I want to see, did they top the shit diamonds or
That's
just
what I'm
same
looking-
level of ridiculous?
It's just something she said. No, it's just maybe she died or something. I don't know. I'm looking. I can't find it right now.
My favorite was the eagle and the bear.
I'm a big fan of the masturbation machine stories. I liked the
would.
the Holocauster. Well, no, they're just like only a Jew could come up with those stories. Is the whole thing. Like,
Electric floors.
Electric killing floor.
As an
That's real.
electrician, because that's my job. Like, that's an interesting feat to electrify wooden floors, or or even concrete floors. Those whole floors would have to be metal. So it's just very interesting.
As someone with common sense, I agree.
Right.
As someone that passed 7th grade science,
I had
or
I had
4th
a
grade.
kid on a job I was working on I was an anthropology major before I became an electrician, dude. And like, okay, that's great. But he said something about the Holocaust, and I started laughing. He's like, "Oh no, don't tell me you're one of those Holocaust deniers." I'm like, "Well, I don't know."
I don't think even the Holocaust deniers are deniers. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. But he started with, and then he started talking about all the atrocities, and I kind of laughed at him. And so I asked him if he believed in the electric floors. I'm like, dude, you're going to be an electrician, and you think that's a thing?
I would just say when someone talks about denying the Holocaust, I mean, what do you mean? I know American Indians were killed. They're like, no, killed by fire. Oh, Hiroshima? Like Dresden? What are you talking about?
Oh,
There's
that's a
lots
good
of
one.
Holocaust.
That's a good one, Dresden.
No,
They
you
left
should
the-
have
they left
started
the S
asking
off
him.
of it, you know.
What's that, Brad?
You should just hit him with the math on the ovens, just like burn like the actual cremation progress, and be like, oh, so when you learned anthropology, I guess they didn't teach you basic math.
Hit him with the potato smasher pasta. You know, the one, the Jews per minute pasta.
Yes.
That's a good one.
don't know.
One of our friends, I'll have to send it to you. It's like a copy pasta, right? Where you just like, it's just a big paragraph that you can throw at people in a conversation that's like a bunch of facts and whatever. We call this the Jews per minute, and it's like basically if this many Jews died over this period of time, and this it was and it breaks down to how many Jews per minute actually were holocausted, and the math it's one of those, the math doesn't add up there, Moishe.
Well, if so many died, how come angels haven't returned? No. I like making fun of stuff that you're not allowed to make fun of.
That's
but
what we do.
it's obviously putting people in labor camps and starving to death and all that. That's terrible. But I'm so sick of being browbeat with it. I didn't do any of that shit. People are collectively, made to feel guilty or at fault for these events that they weren't even born, when this shit happened. And I'm so sick of people going, the Holocaust to justify unrelated events like colonizing Palestine or something. I'm like, what the fuck? You can't just say that every time you want to do something terrible. And so that's why I'll tell jokes about it and all. I'm like,
yeah, I don't think you realize though, Ryan. Every single camp guard was actually Palestinian, and that's the justification. Every Nazi guard was actually from Palestine.
According to CNN, they're all half Iranian Russian.
It's amazing how
CNN blamed the whole thing on Russia, and in somehow Trump's grandfather was involved or something.
Well,
I gotta find somebody who's good at Photoshop to Photoshop get a picture from the Holocaust and make that gas was the animal Assad, the gas loving animal Assad, make him like a Nazi camp guard, but make it like this is irrefutable proof that we need to invade Syria.
We need to invade Poland now because
God,
they're gonna gas their own people or something.
Well, when libertarians talk about all these genocides that occurred, it's like the Soviet genocides and what Mao did and Pol Pot, and it's like, why is this the only one that ever mattered? There's only one genocide that ever mattered.
We didn't do it.
Well,
it's the one America didn't do.
The second one is pretty bad too. The Holocaust of the Indians. That's second on there. That's the only other one that's ever even mentioned. Yeah, the American. That's the only one that's ever mentioned.
Well,
there's no. But
you'll hear it,
where's
but
the?
You'll only hear it
where's the German
in passing is
museum to Native Americans?
Yeah.
Oh no, well, they're called they're there. They're called casinos.
Where's Germany's genocide memorial to American Indians?
Well, that's how they gave reparations to the Indians. Is they're giving them all of these fucking poor white people's money at the casinos.
Yeah, I get.
Yeah, have you ever seen the Trail of Tears? The Trail of Tears slot machine. It's great.
I have not seen that. It's a tax on people who can't do math.
Yeah. And
most of the so-called Indians that run casinos are like 1/132nd Indian, and you can guess what their other ethnicity is.
Oh, yeah.
It echoes.
So Irish.
Name one actual movie with Native Americans where they weren't just played by Hispanics.
Pro tip, you can't.
Yeah.
Well, the TV show Hell on Wheels had some authentic Indians, and Russell Means was in
wait a minute,
Last of the Mohicans, but the protagonist was a white guy.
Wasn't the guy who played Billy, what's his name on The Predator? He was an actual Indian, wasn't he? He ran for state senator in Florida and some shit, and then ended up going to prison, I believe. But he was a Native American, which that makes sense, Yeah. But anyways, all right, yeah. Let's get back to the holiday at hand.
I think Young Guns had some.
Oh yeah, Lou Diamond Phillips.
That was Native Mexican.
Yeah, he was probably Jew too. I bet you if you looked on Jew or not Jew, Lou Diamond Phillips probably has like a grandmother or something.
I don't know. I'm just based on looks. I'm not like no professional.
It's not that big. It's not that big of a deal. So this is the day of this is like conspiracy theory Christmas, 9/11.
Oh yeah,
right. I mean,
it's the best thing since JFK.
Right, which is one of the ways that I actually got into listening to your stuff because I found you kind of through Michael Collins Piper.
Oh yeah, he was great.
Yeah, and that he was like Mr. JFK. Like that's like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
His book, his 6th edition of Final Judgment was.
Yes.
Finally targeting the right people, and weaving it all together, and it perfectly fits with RFK's murder too. So, but I was going to interview him again. There's a 3 hour and 40-something minute one I did with Michael Piper, and we'd walk through the whole thing, and we were at Daily Plaza, right, just finishing it, and he had to leave the building. Like they were forcing him out of the building, and we couldn't talk about it, and I had to edit it and be like, oh, well, we'll talk about Plaza later. And we never got to it because he passed away before he could come on a second time. We were going to finish that and talk about RFK. But unfortunately, he passed away, and he wasted the last year of his life arguing with shitheads about Sandy Hook and stuff like that. So sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like people that really want to get to the bottom of things, there's like several pitfalls along the way. And it's with 9/11 too. It's like people want to argue about like the technical, the physics, and they don't want to argue about, well, who benefits? Who benefits? You know, let's start naming names.
Right.
And
I just said on the previous show, if someone burns your house down, do you sit there and split hairs about, oh, do they use kerosene or gasoline? Or do you want to know who fucking burned your house down? You know, who had the motive?
Eventually, I want to know about whether it was kerosene or gasoline. First, I want to find out who did it. And then I want to know
that's
how
like
they did
low on the list. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But at this
once
point,
you know it's arson, it doesn't matter what specifically. Oh, did you use a shape charger or RDX or thermite? It doesn't fucking matter.
But the thing is, like, in our circles, I'd like to think that most people already understand the who. I'd like to think that. But a lot of them don't, which is very interesting to me. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was how so many people in just in like, you know, in these circles that listen to these kind of shows could even begin to believe any of the official story.
Yeah, and you really need that bubble to pop, because if you don't pop that on 9/11, let's say, then they're going to fall for lies about Iraq, lies about Syria, lies about Libya. Like, again, it's 9/11, and here I am trying to put a warning out to say, hey, folks, the United States government is covertly working with Al-Qaeda to stage a false flag to use as a pretext for war. Again, except it's in Syria this time. And that's not sarcasm. That's really happening. Like, they are putting out warnings. Oh, Assad's given a green light to use chemical weapons. No, it's not Assad doing that. But if you don't pop 9/11, then... But it's so hard because 9/11's been turned into such a tar baby by Melonhead Jones and people like that.
Well, you can usually hang them. It's like, well, I mean, do they care about, you know, the guys that are dying of respiratory diseases? I mean, a lot of them are already dead, the ones that work the site. And it's like, well, if you guys really cared about 9/11, wouldn't you care about those guys? They basically sacrificed themselves, you know, to go through all the debris and to remove it and stuff. They have
there was an asbestos scandal prior to the collapse. And
oh yeah, that's one of the reasons why the buildings were chosen. But well, I mean, why it was I would say they were chosen to come down like that because they were supposed to have like was it a couple of $1 billion retrofit because all the asbestos didn't meet the current fire code.
It's billions of dollars that goes to the coffers of the Silversteins and the PA. I mean, the head of the Port Authority, which had owned the buildings, was the former president of AIPAC. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's just a who's who of you-know-who sitting on the board of the Port Authority. One, Governor McGreevey appointed Charles freaking Kushner to be the chair. Mm-hmm. He got thrown in jail, though, before he could do much with it. But, you know, they call themselves the Holocaust builders. And you got these prominent Jewish families in New York and New Jersey that run the PA as a gamut of basically allocating wealth to themselves. And they made enormous profits off 9/11. Kushner had bought up all these properties across the river in New Jersey. Because where were all these offices going to physically go? But since the buildings were gone, they had to go somewhere, and somewhere close by. And gee, we just made a great investment there by getting these 50 million square feet of office space for him. And American Express and all these people moved over, and he made a lot of money. And this is a fucking felon, you know, engaged in sexual blackmail and fun things like that, and campaign finance tampering and so on, and witness tampering, and gets out of jail and goes right back to business. He even recruited some criminals out of the jail to work with him. And now his son
wait a minute. What do you mean?
Is the son-in-law of the president.
What do you mean recruited guys out of jail? He got
some white-collar criminals who were involved in these hedge fund scandals and stuff, who he met in prison down in Alabama during his time there, who he then hired when he went back to New York.
And you did just say that this is the father of the son-in-law of the president of the United States.
Yeah, it's Charles Kushner. He's the one that blackmailed Governor McGreevey.
Right.
Hired an Israeli national. You know the story.
Yeah.
And that is Jared Kushner's father. He also bribed Harvard to get Jared and Josh both into Harvard. Well, his wife did that one, but it's their family.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
$250,000, and both kids go to Harvard. They definitely did not have the grades for it or anything.
Well, that's
But
the
they were
thing about
the
getting into
right
those
ethnic
schools,
group and
right?
privileged family. So.
Isn't that the thing about Ivy League schools? Is if you're rich, your parents can pay to get you in. If you're not rich, you got to be a minority and have like amazing grades, or
Pretty much.
or just be Jewish, pretty much. So
For Harvard, that's definitely a lot of Jewish nepotism. For most schools, you have to just have money.
and they said once you get in, Ivy League schools are actually fairly easy to graduate from once you're in.
I don't know. I think that's because the filter is so big. But like, I went to a public Ivy, and there were 3 types there. You had your really rich kids, you had your really smart kids, and sometimes you had your really rich smart kids. But that was the smallest group. But there are some really rich kids who are also really smart. But all the dumb kids were just had wealthy families, right? But they were there, and they would take bullshit courses, and they would cheat, and they would just find a way to get a piece of paper. But school would not fail them out because then they wouldn't get their donations postgraduate either. So.
That's how the Bushes went through.
The business.
You know.
They cheated too. Like they would just cheat on tests and shit. And like,
oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, it was pathetic. But
well, how do we get? Oh man,
one of the
how do we get off onto Ivy League schools? I forgot.
Kushner's kids.
Honestly, that's a
Kushner.
conspiracy in and of itself. Like the entire idea of like your a school's funding is beholden to all these alumni that want their fucking kids to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Warburgs was my girlfriend's roommate. And she was, average, which did not belong to William and Mary, but got passed along. Had to go to summer school and all that, but got passed through. Money talks, man.
Warburg.
Yep.
I used to know a friend of mine went to school with Dick Cheney's daughters. So.
Well, Cheney's another prominent person in this 9/11 story.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's get back on 9/11. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. That's what I'm here for.
That's all right. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many other topics, we could talk to you about because you're.
I've been talking about it all day, so I just need a little break to shoot the shit and tell some jokes. And now we can get serious.
Oh no, that's the beauty of like 9/11 is that's when the real edgy memes come out, so we can fucking joke as much as we want.
You got to hear some of the songs we made.
As just one thing, you can't do Bush did 9/11 memes or jet fuel can't melt steel beams memes because those are stale and shitty and they're for normies.
It's like nobody just pours jet fuel on steel and lights it on fire. There's a fucking building you have to add to it, Right. These people are so stupid. They're like, where's the plane? With the Pentagon, they only show the hole in the second floor. I'm like, show the bottom floor. Show the bottom floor. Yep, 90-foot hole. Fuck off. But
that's a common
I make
one,
counter memes. It is. They're like, look, the wings folded. I'm like, no. Look, I have a page just called Pentagon Debris, and all it is huge chunks of plane, wheels, landing gear, engines, turbines, stuff, bodies that went to Walter Reed, burnt people in their fucking seats with melted seatbelts and stuff. I'm like, this is all available. You just didn't look for it. You got spoon-fed bullshit from Loose Chains and Alex Jones, and then went off like an evangelist with your talking points. No building never fell from fire. Titanium engines can't evaporate. That's not a Rolls Royce. Right? Saying the same shit over and over. I'm like, it didn't evaporate. It's right fucking there. Here's a photograph of it. There's a scrapyard if you want to go. These people.
Yeah, there's a vocabulary to it. Like fell into its own footprint. That's
yeah.
Right.
That's one of the. And it's kind of like grassy knoll, right? Mm-hmm. This is a way that intelligence agencies can kind of test how far the poison spreads, right? Nobody fucking says knoll, right? Just hill, all right? You know what I mean? Grassy knoll is an odd choice of vocabulary, but everyone says the grassy knoll. They don't just say the fence, or something like at the end of the hill. They're just saying grassy knoll because they don't think for themselves. Like the report goes out and they're all just lemmings repeating talking points that they heard. And sometimes they'll use this odd language. And I think it's to kind of see like how far from the point of origin it disseminates through the press and through the common lexicon, because people never said that. I mean, null is a word and all, but no one uses that in common other than the Kennedy assassination. Have you ever used the word? But that's what they do. And you can see that too with 9/11 stuff, certain vocabulary, and this is getting really conspiracy but that's just yellow cake. They're acting like, oh, yellow cake. I'm like, oh, really? You think the public's privy to oxidized uranium? Like,
it became like vernacular, like standard vernacular really quickly. Oh yeah, yellow cake. People were making jokes about
everyone knows that. I'm like, that's not a common fucking thing,
right?
But they want to pretend like it is because they just learned it that day. It's kind of like a newbie in martial arts that learns a move and thinks he's awesome, and then goes and tries to show his friends and it doesn't work. Whatever. Like, you just fucking learned that yesterday. Now you're preaching on the mountain, like, yellow cake uranium from Niger. Shut up.
Well, the word conspiracy theory is one of those. I mean, it was it came about, seemed like in the wake of the Kennedy assassination, and it was started to be promoted by journalists. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory, and now conspiracy theory just means what in the popular mindset? It means, well, you're wrong, you're a kook,
The word theory, even like people use the word theory when they actually mean hypothesis, and sometimes not even that, just like my dumb idea or something. My thoughts. They'll say my theory is blah blah. Like, it's not a theory. You're not combining bridge principles and facts, and that's what theory means. But you just use theory for everything, and then conspiracy theory is automatically associated with kook stuff, like Elvis is still alive and whatever, And so they go,
isn't still alive. I was just informed via email last week that Elvis is in fact still alive.
He's right here.
I will actually say, awesome. If you have ever seen there's a documentary film called Bubba Hotep, where I can confirm right now that Elvis Presley is still alive.
Yeah,
and he's also Bruce Campbell.
Him and Hitler are hanging out in Argentina. He's hanging out with Hitler and Jim Morrison.
Sure.
Well,
yeah. What do you? Here's a question. I don't know if anybody's ever asked you.
My favorite normie joke, and since you're all burned out on 9/11, I kind of want to.
You guys are joking, but like some people, I can't tell if they're being sarcastic or stupid, because no matter how outlandish you make it, there are some people who will. I mean, God, they believe in hollow earth and lizard people. You know what I mean? So, how ridiculous can you have to make?
Yeah.
Well, if you're one of those,
Well, it's like I don't.
Hey, man,
I don't insult you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't believe in dumb shit. I can document.
Hey, as long as you think Bigfoot's real. Hey, Ryan, as long as you think Bigfoot's real, we're cool.
Yeah.
I actually argued, and I had to be a sophist about this. I had to make a case for Bigfoot, and I won the argument because I was saying, well, giantism occurs in people, right? Like Andre the Giant, or like certain wrestlers that have a benign tumor in their pituitary gland or something like that, and they grow to normal size. You see that in people. There's billions of us. But giantism happens in all of the animal kingdom, right? There are giant squid, giant spiders, giant stuff where same, genetic variation, and sometimes you get huge species, right? And Bigfoot could be, a normal animal that has a normal, like, chimp or something like that, or orangutan, whatever, that happens to have giantism. And that's totally rare, but perfectly possible, and in line, doesn't go against biology or anything. And maybe people saw that. I mean, it's not like they all got together and said, let's make up a story about a giant monkey thing. Like, there was some Yeti out there in the Himalayas that was, monks and things saw it. It was a really big beast. And there's a story in France like that. There was a wolf that had giantism, and they thought it was like a demon or whatever. But it's hard to explain. When you see an animal that has giantism, it freaks you out. When you see a person who's a giant, it's like, it's explained now, but like, if you weren't used to it and didn't see people on TV and the NBA and stuff like that, And someone just walked in. He was like 7'7". You're like, whoa, the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, because you don't see that walking around every day, but we see it in movies and shit. So we're desensitized. But if someone just walked up that huge, it's pretty intimidating, you know.
Well,
but anyway, it could be
even throughout like history, there's been records of giants and stuff. You know, biblical
I'm obsessed
history,
with
But there's also, you know,
You're obsessed with
been
what?
giant apes.
I have
like,
a niche for giants, man. Like I have like giant stories.
What do you think of what do you think of stuff like what is it, Catalina Island in California? They used to have the museum with all the giant skeletons.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that's faked, but doesn't mean giants aren't real and there aren't giant animals. There are, but it's way easier to fudge it for economic reasons.
Sure.
there was also that the extinct ape, Gigantopithecus, who was like a 3 meter tall fucking primate.
That's
Is that
right.
the ancestor?
Which, yeah,
Gates?
a lot of people theorize that's what they think Bigfoot is. You know, it's like a
I think
600
Bigfoot is
pound
just
fucking 7 foot tall ape.
a hoax. Like the story of the guys got caught in a costume and stuff that started the myth of Bigfoot.
Oh yeah,
But
no.
Independent of that,
I
could
agree
there be
with
a
Bigfoot
giant
tape's
primate? If you're just talking about giant primates that are rare and and seen sometimes here and there, sure, that's possible. But that doesn't fit in the Kripke sense of the word.
Right.
The Bigfoot story with the video of the guy turning his head is bullshit. But that doesn't mean
That's been-
there isn't some undiscovered primate.
it's
Well,
been debunked.
Yeah, well, in that world, there's so many hoaxes and liars, right? That even the guys that say that they hoaxed it, could be lying to you. The Patterson Gimlin film, it's like there is a guy with an interesting gait that claims that he was wearing the suit, but when you get him to talk about the suit, it's like, it was horsehide. Now, his story changes, throughout the years, and meanwhile, Patterson died of cancer back in the 70s. And, and you figure if they were hoaxing it that they would get better footage. The footage is only really usable if you stabilize it with modern techniques and look at it. And it's interesting. Look how
you don't want good footage because then you'd know what it was. The shitty footage is better.
Well, now that it's stabilized, look how long those feet are. I mean, is this guy's feet really that long? Look how long where his hands lying in relation to his pelvis. Are his arms that long? So it's an interesting story where you keep investigating it.
Yeah, fake feet.
Doesn't it also look like it might be a female and it has breasts?
Yeah.
Dude, I love how it's 9/11 and we're talking about Bigfoot.
Hell yeah!
It could have just been
Sasquatch.
Welcome
it's
to
probably
the
just a
Paranormies.
ginger.
We're going off such a fucking tangent.
It's just a ginger coming back from the woods. Like maybe it just was dawn or whatever. Like the ginger hadn't changed from moonlight form back yet, and so he was still looking
Is
like
that what
were
gingers
ginger.
do? Yeah, were gingers. That's pretty spooky.
all gingers are were gingers.
Oh, I did not.
We're getting
know that.
esoteric right
Yeah,
now.
very
Gingers,
Well, let's get back to 9/11.
Yeah, back to
'cause We're
9/11.
going to talk about
I
Sasquatch.
mean, if a ginger can exist, any kind of other monster can exist.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. I'm having a
They're
good time. We
dudes.
can keep talking about were gingers.
No, let's get back to
Let's get
this.
Ranganoids, man. That's what they call them down
Alright.
south.
What do they call them?
Let's get back to like
Ranganoids.
just really
Ranganoids.
real things that actually happen that make me mad.
Okay. Gingers make me mad, but whatever.
So,
Oh no, they're
Yeah, well,
they're
here's some good
beautiful
news.
people.
Let me tell you some good news to bring back the good vibes. John McCain is still dead.
Yay.
this is true.
Cue the crab meme.
Yeah, exactly.
Dancing crab meme. That is actually pretty excellent.
Threw that up in locker room talk.
No,
Man, he was just such a
it's
terrible
video-
person.
yeah,
Are
he
you guys
really
are
was.
you guys actually fans? Are you actually fans of John McCain? If so, name 5 of his best war crimes.
Aiding Al Qaeda gotta be up there.
That's
Songs that make-
definitely.
You know what I do have to say?
I had a
is-
poll on Twitter for what would be the most. This is while he was still alive, and I sent it to him and his family. I said, what would be the most appropriate international party food for when John Warmonger McCain kicks the bucket? And the winner was Vietnamese food. So I had Vietnamese food when he died.
Nice.
And I toasted to the tumor.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
I like
his daughter-
Enoch's last message to him. It's like, Assad's going to still be around and you won't. So
Yeah, you're like, the Assad curse prevails.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
The
That's
T-shirt
a-
I'm wearing, it's got a picture of Trump, a picture of Assad, and a picture of Putin. And underneath all three of them, it says President, President, President. And then on the bottom is the picture of Hillary Clinton. It says not President. I like to throw salt in the wounds. Fuck John McCain, dude. He was a warmongering asshole.
Yeah,
he was
coming
like a
straight out of the
top-level
underworld.
neocon.
Mhm.
And
I'll drink to
Uh,
that.
Have you guys ever
Yes.
seen, anybody who wasn't as important as, he's not even really that important of an official. He's just a senator. His funeral was as big as a president.
Which funeral are you talking about? Because I know he had apparently according to the news media, he had several across the course of a week.
I thought it's still going on. Aren't they bringing the casket over to Asia and doing the tour on this side? Yeah, it's like world
Doing
tour.
the
of
farewell,
McCain's
yeah,
got-
John
Yeah,
McCain
get
farewell
the
tour.
T-shirt. Yeah.
I know Ozzy's
I
been
know
doing
the
it for about
counter
12
one.
years, so.
We're gonna set up a fake grave, and people can stand in line and pay to piss on it.
Oh God.
You can make it.
Sorry, honey, can't pay rent this month.
John McCain. He had like
Gotta
a
go piss on
22
John McCain's grave.
So, yeah,
I'm gonna do-
what did John McCain have to do with 9/11? Or did he have anything to do at all?
He wasn't that instrumental in 9/11, but he has been instrumental in aiding Al Qaeda in general.
Okay.
And
So he really didn't have anything to do
but
with
he's
9/11?
No, he was instrumental in associating Iraq to 9/11.
Okay.
So, and he kind of revealed that on the Letterman show when he said the second phase is Iraq. Like they'd already had this divvied up in phases, which means there is a first phase and probably a third phase. He's like, the second phase is Iraq, and even some of this anthrax we have information may have come from Iraqis. That's what they were saying. This was right after the anthrax is mailed. He went on Letterman in October, so just a month after 9/11, and just like a week after the first anthrax killed Robert Stevens. He goes on and he's already associating, he's reiterating the neoconservative talking point published in the Weekly Standard for PNAC, saying that Muhammad Atta went to Prague and met with senior Iraqi officials where he got anthrax. And so he's saying, well, it looks like some of this anthrax may have come from Iraq.
Right.
That was
meeting
bullshit
never happened.
because there was no meeting and neither party had anthrax. And of course the note said death to America, death to Israel. I wonder who really did it. But so he was part of the propaganda to use 9/11 to blame Israel's enemies. But as far as the actual hands-on handlers in 9/11, wherever McCain was not trusted with that. He's too stupid. So they left him out of the loop.
I never.
No, I
knew
mean,
what his-
well, you got to remember who was Bush's biggest opponent in the primary back in 2000 was McCain.
Yeah, they're mad at him, and the neocons actually all sided with McCain. They wanted him to win, and then somehow got into the Bush administration anyway because of 9/11.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
This actually kind of brings me back. My dad is probably the biggest shitlib I know in real life that I associate with. I mean, he voted for Hillary in the last election, and he even told me the one time he voted for a Republican, which he feels so dirty saying that, was during the 2000 primary. He voted for McCain because he liked him better than anyone on the Democratic platform, and it was just. And that just says all you need to know about John McCain, that my shitlib father voted for him in the primary in 2000.
Well, you have no idea. I mean, the whole man's life is horse shit. I mean, he was the son of an admiral, graduated from Annapolis, and then they were mad at him at the USS Forrestal fire in '67. I mean, he went for R&R within 3 days. The whole ship's mad at him, and then he cooperated with his captors. He's the songbird of Hanoi.
60%
much needed
more shot down
R&R, according to his book.
What'd you
I
say?
was talking over you. Say that again.
According to his book, after that entire incident that he allegedly caused, it was some much needed R&R. The guy who allegedly caused this big fire and then kind of ran away and didn't help put it out. He got some much needed R&R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
The song
piece of shit
y'all made.
father who he was. Honestly, his father was probably worse than him. If you really
His father
look at
covered
it.
up the USS Liberty attack. I mean, he's like, you have 1 week to investigate this very complicated event. It was impossible.
Right.
That was
You're
Alvin
absolutely
McCain.
right.
They married into the Seagram's liquor family and stuff, and it's just the whole family's career Zionist. Like, I always thought, now that McCain is dead, I guess it would. Nikki Haley or John Bolton, they would be the top two, but I can't decide between the two who is more of a Israeli bitch. But I guess Bolton, he's been at it longer. But Haley is such a we should just rename her our Zionist ambassador of Israel.
I'll just say, I in my opinion, Bolton is way he's the biggest. He practically wears a collar that has just it's like a big Star of David dog tag on his collar that just says "I love Israel" and then his contact information on the back. Because he is, was it the Friend of Zion Award? He has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has.
He's received that medal, the Friend of Zion Award.
Yeah, he's a really bad Israel shill. He is definitely the worst right now. I thought Sarah Palin was bad. I thought Sarah Palin was bad before.
Haley's right up there. Trust me. Nikki Haley's been doing all this gas propaganda stuff. She's the one that walks out on the event.
Yeah. I tend to not listen to her when she talks.
Just became an ambassador recently too. I mean, but
right.
Bolton, yeah. I mean, that's why my kind of side with Bolton because he's been doing it longer.
Was Bolton around for 9/11?
Yeah. Well, Bolton used to be our UN ambassador, but he comes in. He's in the Bush administration later, but not at the time. But he was our UN. What the position that Haley has now is what he used to have.
The UN ambassador.
Now he's the national security advisor. He used to be there. Because he would go in there, because Jacques Chirac made the case for the French opposing the war. His English teacher was my roommate's father, by the way. But Jacques Chirac, they were so pissed at the French for opposing this pointless war in Iraq that, Congressman Walter Jones was saying we should rename French fries to freedom fries. They wanted to drop French. Fox News did this long thing about, dropping the word French off of French bread, French anything.
I was in the military at the time.
It would go well with our war.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Everything that was French anything was freedom.
Yeah.
So, but Walter Jones did a 180. He became against the war later, and
of course,
had to get soured. But
Bolton came in because the neocons took over the Bush administration after 9/11. It was the greatest moment of their lives, 9/11. They were sort of on the ropes. McCain lost, and they didn't have much influence in the Bush administration. Then 9/11 occurred, and they took it over.
Bush's father called them the crazies in the basement.
Yeah.
Honestly, in retrospect, Bush Jr. was pretty moderate as far as foreign policy went until 9/11, and then everything just went to shit.
Yeah, the neocons took over, and I can't believe he got reelected. That's why I'm in Japan.
There you go.
Well, just look at who his vice president was.
All these people talking trash. I said I'm going to move if he gets reelected. He did, and I left.
And
so you did.
You picked a great country, though, the glorious Nippon.
Yeah, I think I made a good choice.
I'm the resident weeb, though.
Let me tell you a monk story that I have. I haven't got to say this. I was going to tell a heel turn and I forgot, but last month I was by the train station or whatever, and sometimes you'll see these monks in garb with the big rim hats and all that, like Big Trouble in Little China style, right? And they're just
they're collecting donations, but they won't ask you for one. You just sort of know to put a coin in the bowl or whatever. But they'll also just talk to people. And I saw this guy, and I'd walk by him a few times as I was running errands, and he saw me, and he says to me in English, "Hey, like, are you from America?" or something like that. And I was just shocked because nobody speaks English here, like unless you're at an airport or hotel or something, like, and then it's all fucked up English. And he said like perfectly sound, like, "Hey, you from America? I've seen you around here. You live around here?" So I walk up to him and I'm like, "Yeah, I live nearby." I'm like, and I get to talking to him, and he asked me what he was like. "What are you, an English teacher? Are you in the military?" I said, No, I'm a journalist." He goes, "Oh, you're an American journalist?" And he says, "Oh, you write for the American news, huh? Well, you Jewish?" I said, "No." He goes, "Well, American media is run by the Jews." I was like, holy fuck. This fucking red-pilled monk that lives on a mountain with no TV, and that's what he says.
Yeah.
He's like, "Isn't it? Everyone knows that, right?" I was like, "No, everyone doesn't know that." I just about spit. I was like, "Holy shit." He's like, "Are you
That's the
Jewish?" I
thing
said,
is-
"No." He goes, "Well, the American media is run by the Jews."
Well, the thing is everybody in the entire world knows that except for your average American normie.
I guess so.
No, you got it, Johnny. You're right. Everyone in the world knows it except for Americans.
You know, I mean, it's
People
like that
around
thing.
here
With,
know it.
It's like that thing with Time magazine. I've seen it where it's at like 3 different covers, and they were all something about the Egyptian when they overthrow Mubarak or something like that a couple years back. I don't remember. I don't pay attention to the politics out there. But
You're thinking of Morsi, but Mubarak. was
Morsi,
gone.
Mubarak,
There's 3
yeah.
revolutions in a row.
it's the Arab
Timeline.
Spring stuff.
the Arab
yeah.
Spring stuff. It's Arab shit. I really don't care. But yeah, there was 3 covers for different sections of the world. It was all the same picture, except in the United States. The cover for Time magazine "Is stress making you fat?" Was the cover of Time magazine. So that's why people in the United States don't know the Jews run the media, because everybody else does. But we get, Dancing with the Stars and whatever the fuck else. Now it's
We get an obese
obese
lingerie model on Cosmopolitan.
The ultimate. We call them obese.
Obese.
She's an obese. She is the queen obese. I saw pictures of her eating a cake with that was the cover of the Cosmo magazine. It was like a sheet cake, so it was like
It must have been a really big cake.
it was literally like 2 feet by 16 inches or something, and she's eating it.
Her
with fucking
tattoos are
hands.
life size.
Some of them are life size for like a small child. It's like she's huge, dude. The picture of her sitting in the throne, where you can see like 5 inches of fat roll being cut off by the weight of her leg, like hanging underneath the chair. That is a thoroughly disgusting sight. I mean, I can't believe that really bothers me more than a lot of things to have on the cover of that fucking magazine.
They complain when someone's too pretty that's going to affect body image. I'm like, here's someone who's killing herself by Twinkie,
Right.
and you're promoting that body image.
Right. Only
That would not be on the cover of a Japanese magazine, I can tell you that. They would think that was like a horror monster or something.
they haven't got onto
Like
the body positivity craze yet. No?
Well, here it's not taboo to call someone a fat ass. Like, if someone even starts to get chunky, they're like, "Hey, you're fat. Do you want to work out together?" Like, they want to help you. They think it's like, "Oh, so and so's getting fat. We should intervene."
That's awesome. That's like
There's
they
no
actually live
taboo
in a
at all.
society.
There's a big taboo on asking somebody their age or something. But if you want to say you're fat or whatever, like that's not a problem. Like it's true. I mean, we can look at you, they'll tell you right away. So they'll just dog each other for it too. So not a lot of fat Japanese people. If they do, it's on purpose for sport or something. But like sumo, they're like another brand.
That's
But
yeah. Those are like a whole different breed of Japanese. Those sumo people.
Japan has 800 islands. People don't understand this. Like there's important big ones, but there's 800 islands, and there's some of these guys, like it's just like Samoans, sort of. They're like
Strangely indigenous.
these giant, huge, tough, big-headed monster people compared to these rather, on average, dainty, shorter, thin people. And what sumo wrestlers just look so weird walking around here. I've seen him a few times. Like, holy shit! It's kind of like we were saying earlier. If you see, I told you I like giants, but like if you see something like that, you're like, Jesus, man, that person could just like run into your car and knock it over if they want to.
They're trained pretty hard. It's pretty brutal training, you know.
Oh yeah, very very brutal. It's but a lot of it they got in trouble with gambling scandal over here. We got a little bit WWE rigging fights and stuff for gambling because of the Yakuza.
Huh.
Yeah, and I think it started out as honor. It's like, if I don't lose that much, I'll give this guy a little bit of honor, give him an easy out, and then that but here comes the cheating. It's just like throwing a fight. And,
well, it's kind of like a system where, kind of like UFC, the guys in the top make a lot of money, and the guys in the bottom kind of need a second job, kind of thing, you know. And so they were rigging it so that people could kind of float in the middle, and so you would never, you know, be in that poverty situation or whatever. And they sort of agreed on.
This is like a huge digression, but that's probably my favorite thing about Japan as far as mixed martial arts went, was pride. I don't know if you ever got into that back, like,
that's what,
you know, living out there.
The rule system was better, like the winner take all, rather than, you know, edging out each round. Because you could kind of dry hump somebody for 2 rounds and then get your ass kicked in the 3rd round and still win, right? And with the round system that you see,
it was also just it was purely for the spectator. I mean, they would put people that, like, they would put Fedor Emelianenko in the ring with someone who has, like, it's their first fight like ever.
It's some jobber,
being exactly. So they
take his hat off.
Yeah,
it combined it was like real professional
stomp
wrestling.
on people,
so they had like
the
head
when they're down, like.
Also, they had like much more lax doping rules there.
Oh, they actually gave it to the fighters, encouraged certain ones to dope and certain ones are not allowed to. Some had throw fights, like. But
I mean, that's where Ken Shamrock got his start in Pancrase, was out in Japan, and he was on fucking every steroid you can think of.
Oh, yeah.
He started in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. With like,
well, I'm talking about as far as real fighting goes.
Whoa!
What are you talking about? This conspiracy channel. What you mean? Are you saying wrestling's fake? What
yeah,
the fuck?
wrestling isn't fake, dude. What's up?
What are you saying?
What are you
doing,
doing, Brad?
Mick Foley, if you didn't get any injuries, no.
Yeah, exactly. Especially Mick Foley.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling is predetermined. Is a better way to say it.
Right.
Oh, that doesn't mean it's. But yeah, exactly. I actually use that line all the time. Just because the outcome is predetermined,
they hit each other. Those chairs are real.
Those guys are actually flying through the air and landing on shit. That doesn't feel good.
What you actually
I had the
just
same
said,
babysitter
Johnny,
as the Hardy brothers.
Referencing Mick Foley, like, if anyone who ever says like wrestling is fake, I show them the clip where Undertaker threw Mick Foley off the top of the cell, and I just want to say, all right, tell me how he faked that.
Yeah.
How was it CG? Was there a fake plane?
Yeah.
Was that a hologram?
Was it a hologram?
No. Like, tell me how that is fake. Yeah.
Did they bulldoze the ring the day afterwards?
Mick Foley's not really fat. He's just a dude in pads 24/7.
Right. Were the holes drilled in with a drill, or were they actual bullet holes?
He has a fake hole in his lip that he's pushing his tooth through.
Yeah,
exactly.
He just held that fake tooth in his mouth the entire match like a master magician.
Yeah. You guys used to ever watch? All right, since we're off on a wrestling tangent, you guys ever watch ECW?
I am a wrestling dictionary, dude.
Man, that was before my time.
Okay. ECW.
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, Rob Van Dam was my jam back in the day. Yeah.
RVD was Mr. Monday Night. He was the whole damn show.
Mm-hmm.
When I found Rob Van Dam is when he came over from WCW to the.
Okay, that was when he started. He was like, "All right, that's enough. My back,
when he went
my back needs a little break."
Oh no, dude, he's still like back. That was like what, 2002. He still went coast to coast. He gets to. In fact, that dude's still fucking limber.
Monday Night Raw match with Eddie Guerrero, a ladder match, just like a regular Monday. It could have been a pay-per-view match with Eddie Guerrero, a ladder match with RVD and Eddie. It was really good. I guess you could find it on YouTube, but I really liked RVD. He was kind of one of those guys that was could wrestle anyone. Like, he could wrestle the small guys and be believable, or the big guys. And he had enough high flying and enough, martial arts and stuff.
You think he could have wrestled 19 Saudi hijackers?
Yeah, put him on
Very
those
good.
planes.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy Glick
He
was
would've
on
defended 'em all.
one of the planes.
Who was?
Judo practitioner Jeremy Glick, an actual fighter, and that was Flight 93, the one that they did take over. So may have been that Black Swan, like, oh, you have professional martial artists on the plane. You didn't see that coming.
Surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker!
That's what actually. Yeah. That's what actually brought the plane down. Then was the he had him in some sort of.
Well, I mean, him and a
Spit
bunch of
kicks.
dudes, but
Right.
like if you're in an airplane aisle, and judo is a pretty sweet art to have, because they can't get around you. Like they got to come at you. And, if you don't know someone's a professional judo player, like, you're pretty fucked. If you're just some scrub that's never trained and you're wearing clothing
It's
and
one
stuff.
of the most like. It's a really practical martial art to know in real life. Is just judo because
Yeah. Like in
if
MMA,
someone-
you're wearing underwear, and that negates a lot of the throws, right?
Mhm.
But in life, you'd have a shirt on, or realistically, a jacket or something.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's designed for. So, and they didn't. They
Yeah, like
hired
when I took
to take their
jujitsu,
shirts off.
I
Be
did
like,
gi
"Allah,"
jujitsu, 'cause-
like.
Yeah, like when I took jujitsu, it was gi jujitsu because I don't plan on becoming a mixed martial artist. I want to know how to. If I'm in a situation where some dude at the club puts his hands on me, I want to know what to do.
Right.
He's probably wearing some collar shirt with the collars popped. Oh, there you go. It's already popped up. That's a great target for me.
Gi jiu-jitsu is a very different discipline than no gi. Like you have to change almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's certain sets that.
Yeah,
work,
I'm not wrestling
modify.
naked dudes, so
They're
I'm not doing
naked
no gi.
dudes. They're wearing rash guards. Stop it. I'm a no gi jiu-jitsu guy. So
I am too. I did both. I did judo, obviously, with a gi, and then I did no gi judo. I taught jiu-jitsu. I had my own school.
oh yeah.
Some of my students won the Naga Nationals. Yeah.
I,
One of them, Eric McGinnis,
I feel like that's
black belt
something we
now,
could,
and,
dude. That's a really cool thing we get into in the second hour.
what's
Okay.
that?
jiu-jitsu stuff.
We could totally talk about that in the second hour.
Khabib or Connor?
Oh, you as Brad
Lighting
wants
some
to take a
fires with
break.
that. I just
Okay.
talked to Pat Miletich. I was just on it. I did an interview with Pat Miletich, like right before
Whoa,
this
whoa,
one.
whoa! All right,
Whoa.
hold on. Before we go to the second hour, wait. You talked to Pat Miletich?
Yeah, for like 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, he's all into my stuff, man. He follows 9/11. He's got it too. He's not some
All right,
normie.
well,
One of the better interviews I've ever done. Like they knew their shit. man.
Nice.
holy shit! I was about to.
Did
try
I
and,
come on here?
You.
No.
Whoa.
Sasquatch time. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's
you
your
know.
show. Like I don't know, like how serious you want to get. Like I can just Ben Stein rant. You all know, or we can be funny or whatever. I'm down.
I prefer a mix.
You know,
I prefer a mix of facts and funny, and bands.
That's hard. That's the hardest one to do. Is
That's
to
why
mix
we're
it
the
up.
best.
I still
balance.
can't believe you went from talking to the first ever UFC middleweight champion to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Well,
I
I
opened
mean-
up with the 9/11 drink joke.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all good. It's all good. Speaking of drinks, I need to grab
That
one.
happened. That was my 17th 9/11.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Let's take a break.
Take
I got
a quick break, and we'll come back.
Someone has
with,
to piss. That's what happened.
yeah, we'll come back with Ryan Dawson, Musonis, and Brad. And
Let's actually talk 9/11.
All right.
Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, fuck it. We'll do it live. All right, so we're back.
Do it live.
We're doing it live. This is still the Paranormies. I'm still Johnny Monoxide with Musonius, Brad, and Ryan Dawson. We're talking on the 17th anniversary of 9/11. We're talking about Sasquatch. And
we were talking about shoes.
And shoes.
We got talking about shoes.
We ascended up to the level of Mick Foley. We were getting.
We did. We talked about the ECW and Rob Van Dam and WWE and Mick Foley and when we
Rob Van Dam's got his own comic book.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Yep.
But we were talking about
he also
what, Brad?
For all my lift bros out there, Rob Van Dam actually invented a lift. It's where you do a split on two folding chairs and do a bicep curl in between. A little useless piece of information.
Okay.
My woodshed series. I don't know if you've seen me take somebody to the woodshed on YouTube, where I just beat someone down for like an hour. That taken to the woodshed was Israel Dat from an Undertaker promo.
Huh.
That's where that word is.
Nice. That's excellent.
And Kane's now the mayor of Knoxville.
So, Brad, what were you talking about?
Hold on, I'm still pissed off about my fucking, like, all these stupid fucking conservatives talking about like burning their fucking Nike shoes. You bought those already, retard. I'm not gonna burn my fucking Nike shoes. You're caring about this company that you didn't care when they were using like foreign sweat labor or they've certainly done some shady business practices in the past. You didn't care about that, but when football men know step up, you suddenly give a shit about your Nike shoes when the fucking Sackler family just patented the latest fucking treatment for opioid withdrawals. The same family that got you addicted to opiates is now selling you your salvation. I've been bitching about this all fucking week.
You know what that's like?
No one gives a fuck because football man, no light, stand up.
All right, Brad. Brad's mad.
I'm waving my hands vigorously.
Waving, yes. Autistic screeching. What I compared the Sackler family thing to is like, it'd be like an auto body shop selling you, like hitting your car with a cinder block, but on that cinder block is a business card for their auto repair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Norton antivirus.
Yeah, exactly. Norton antivirus gets into your computer to give you a virus, so you buy their antivirus.
And then their antivirus acts the same as a virus and slows everything down so much.
Right. It's just horrible. Yeah, but that's what the Sackler family are doing. The
9/11 guys. Let's get on 9/11.
Let's get back to
9/11. The radio host.
Well, the thing is,
I have a podcast. Let's talk 9/11.
You've done
because I'm just blinded by fucking rage.
Okay, calm down, Brad.
So tell me how you feel about the kneeling at the games thing. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Brad, I'm gonna mute Brad in a second here if he doesn't shut up.
Oh, it's great.
It's like somebody asked me about why don't you ask me an Abe Lincoln question?
Much.
You want an hour rant on that terrorist? I'll talk about Abe Lincoln. I can talk about any subject and be like, so what do you think about Lincoln? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. You know I'm gonna freak out. Abe Lincoln is Nike shoes commercials.
Uh-oh.
Or the reaction to it, at least, from the plebs.
Well, that's an episode of Rebel Yell that I'm definitely going to listen to as soon as it comes out.
It's good.
You guys,
Lincoln was my first red pill. So
we actually talked about 9/11 too.
I didn't get into Lincoln. I didn't get into Lincoln and Civil War revisionism until I got into this whole thing. So. I always assumed, what I learned in school was right, but then I started learning that everything I learned in school was wrong. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, things that people learn in school is 9/11 now. They teach that from, I want to say,
the Holocaust.
9/11, the Holocaust. Yeah, there's not much in American history class for kids, other than 9/11, the Holocaust, and the Trail of Tears. I think that's really it. Maybe Pearl Harbor.
I'm just going to go on a limb and say I'm probably the youngest person here at 25. In high school, we did the 13 colonies, the American Revolution, a little bit of the Civil War, and then just nothing. Then we went straight to World War II, and we only briefly touched on World War II, and then it was just Holocaust.
It was
I
the same
learned
for
a lot
me.
about the Holocaust in high school, and we didn't even really talk about the battles in World War II or the entire campaign in Africa. We just kind of just went straight into the Holocaust.
We had a fifth grade field trip from North Carolina.
That's a fucking class.
We had to go all the way from North Carolina to Washington, D.C. and go to Holocaust museums in fifth grade. 10-year-olds showing us piles of shoes and hair and stuff like that.
Yeah, my kid's supposed to go.
Last field trip our class ever had, too.
Oh, man.
But
somebody set the curtains on fire in the hotel.
Nice. Brad, did you guys do 9/11 was when?
Fred.
For you? You were in high school or out of high school?
9/11 was on 9/11. It just sounds funny. When was 9/11?
For him. For you.
It was on 9/11, dude.
9/11.
How old were you?
No, like how old are you? Yeah, how old were you, Brad, for
9/11? I'm not really sure. I'm thinking it might have been in like second grade, and I showed up at the bus stop, and my my neighbor was like, "You hear about the planes?" I was like, "Oh no, they hit nearby." I'm like, "Oh, what did they crash in like the next town over?" I was like, "No, it was in New York." I'm like, "No, that's far away." And I got in the fucking bus.
Huh.
Wow, you guys make me feel old as fuck.
Did
Second
you
grade
know,
when 9/11 happened.
I was in college.
I was in the Navy.
Well, I'm fucking. Yeah, I'm the kid here.
Yeah. Brad's young.
It's weird because that's a weird statistic I heard. Not that weird. I mean, it's true, but there are kids born now in Afghanistan with that war have started before they were born.
Oh yeah.
Like babies that were born on 9/11 in 2001 are in Afghanistan right now, still fighting.
Well, I've heard. I mean, they've done polls, and the average Afghan has never heard of 9/11.
I know.
Right.
it's insane.
And on the news, like, this will be over in months.
Yeah.
It'll just be a
Nothing
quick
in
few months.
Afghanistan is ever over in months. Like
Nobody who is having a child that month, whatever, it's all his little boy, maybe little girl, I guess, and thought, you're going to grow up and become a soldier in Afghanistan. This war we're starting right now, and you'll
go
still
guard
be
the
going
poppy
18
fields
years.
for the Sackler family.
Yes, this region of the world that has been at war since Genghis Khan, it's going to be over in a couple of months. They haven't literally lived through this their entire lives for generations. No, we're just going to go and get out.
Hasn't been a bunch of
more. There's nothing more permanent than a temporary government endeavor.
Oh.
So 9/11
government planning's like watching that crab on the beach, like walking sideways, trying to get into the ocean and missing. That's how government planning goes.
So 9/11
That's better than my analogy.
No,
which is just trying to jam a circular peg into a square hole repeatedly until it goes in. That's
not
my
far off
libertarian prior speak. That's just what fucking government planning is.
It's like these people who are trying to put their luggage in the overhead compartment on a plane, and all they have to do is turn it or something, and they're like,
hold on. Here's the thing, guys.
That is the greatest analogy I have ever heard.
That is good, but hold on a second. How is this incompetent? Luggage smashing, wrong peg in the square hole. How are they pulling off something as intricately large and intricate as a 9/11? How is this incompetent?
They didn't really. Like all the facts are there.
95% of the country
fucked up. It's just if you run the press, it doesn't matter how stupid your story is. Like Iran-Contra, they got caught red-handed, playing down with their supplies. And people went to trial, got convicted, and then got commuted. So it's like it didn't matter. I mean, look at Syria. The lies about Syria are so fucking stupid. Like, so Assad's winning. He's got everything except for Idlib. This is the last pitched battle with ISIS. Right. And now he's going to decide to use chemical weapons out of the blue, which would do nothing but get the weight of the entire international community against him. It makes no sense, no motive, no evidence. Well, it doesn't matter. They tell you.
It hasn't made sense any of the other 6 times they've done it either.
Exactly, and it's like, oh yeah, like he's going to gas 12 to 50 people, which won't make any difference battlefield wise.
It's nothing.
And
6 million or nothing, people. Okay, come at me with your amateur
6
12 people numbers.
6 grillion. Yeah, if they only get a few dozen people, and why would you use a chemical weapon for that and get Tomahawk cruise missile? Like, the propaganda doesn't have to be very good. They are incompetent, they are stupid, but they know the public is even dumber, and that the press isn't going to report it, no matter how obvious it is. Like the anthrax scandal, like it came from our own fucking labs. They had already blamed it on Iraq and Al Qaeda and already gone to war. So, yeah, they lied about anthrax. Oh well, a million Iraqis are dead. So what? Too late. We already did it. We already used that propaganda.
Right. And don't worry, just in case you were not upset enough, they threw babies on the floor out of incubators.
Of course, babies in Tom Lantos. Boop.
Yeah.
And
then
that comes
what we'll
out.
do is we'll have the ambassador's
propaganda.
daughter. We'll have the ambassador's daughter testify, in court about all the atrocities.
Now I'm sure you've seen our film saying what's wrong with this girl's accent.
Oh, yeah. I have.
You've seen that one? Okay. There you go.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've watched pretty much everything you have on your channel.
All right, let's get into it then.
Yeah.
You got any 9/11 questions?
Well,
Okay, the dancing Israelis, were they a distraction, or what were they doing?
They were fuck ups. Like, obviously, you're not supposed to go out in public and celebrate the attacks, much less film the first plane coming. But I guess some of them just weren't disciplined enough to behave in a proper manner. So they fucked up so bad it led to unraveling so much more of it. But then again, like we were just saying, even when you have all these documentation and stuff, it's not going to get reported. So who cares? You know what I mean? Like, when they make mistakes. So, I mean, Israel snipers shoot kids in the face openly. It's not reported, so they don't care.
Sure.
And there's no consequence. So,
Yeah,
but they were part of urban moving systems, which was the front. These moving companies were actually giving hijackers logistical support. The Miami field office, for example, contacted Newark when they got wind of these moving companies, because when the urban moving systems van was pulled over, it had a notebook in it with phone numbers of these other companies like White Glove and so forth. And one of these Israeli companies had actually moved Al-Omari, who's a 9/11 hijacker. I think he's on Flight 11 with Mohammed Atta. He's pictured with him in the ATM photos in Maine and so on. They actually moved him around. And that was just that they knew of immediately. And then there's all this whited out information, you don't have it. But, like, they weren't just living next door to hijackers. They actually packed them up and helped them move. Like, that's how close they were to protecting them from local law enforcement, which I think their main role.
And our federal government held them for 70 days and sent them back to Israel. I mean,
71 days, yeah.
Yeah. So that was dancing Israelis. What about all the insider trading? I mean, there was a bunch of people that made money.
Well, there's a lot more to the dancing Israelis, but I mean, we can skip it.
Oh, really?
No. Continue with the dancing Israelis then.
I think the story that most people know is that some Israelis were celebrating 9/11 attacks, had the cops called on them, and they got pulled over. And then another truck of the same logo got pulled over near the George Washington Bridge, packed with explosives. And that's about all they know. Wouldn't you say it's fair? Like, that's sort of the...
Yeah, that's what the average person knows, if that.
Yeah, if that much even. Or sometimes they think that their van had bombs in it or something, or even though they got pulled over in the afternoon and the van bomb was at 10:45 at night. And there was another van parked inside the World Trade Center found that morning with explosive devices in it. Rick Sanchez reported on it.
Now,
you have to combine those stories with the story of people calling the cops and saying they saw Palestinian bomb makers. How they knew they're Palestinian, I don't know. They waving flags or something, but Palestinian bomb makers mixing something at the airport headed towards Ground Zero. Right?
That doesn't. Yeah, that sounds like a little kooky.
It was very kooky,
Yeah,
and they had broken English.
Question. Actually, you were just on TDS yesterday talking about 9/11 with Mike and Sven, and I was told that somebody
Best John McCain song ever.
You like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I loved it. That was great.
He does good. He does good music. Yeah, he does good music. He said to me that you seemed that like you were coming off the bomb story a little bit. That like there might not have been bombs at the World Trade Center.
You know, he said something like putting thermite on every floor or whatever, and I was just rolling my eyes with it. I was talking about there is some evidence for bombs in the World Trade Centers, but
there's plenty of evidence
this
for
crew,
bombs. I mean, there's
the whole
right.
subway was full of smoke. The lobbies are blown apart.
Right,
There's, like I just said, a van found with explosives in it in the parking garage. Like that happened, right?
Right.
But bomb on every floor is different than just bombs, right? And it's not necessary to have every floor having a bomb on it. Squibs come anyway when floors fall. But there was a crew. If you've seen everything I've done, you already know this anyway, but I'll tell your audience. There was a crew caught in Tennessee that was illegally doing work in the World Trade Centers who got arrested for a separate crime. And this all unravels because one of these idiots still had a pass for the World Trade Center to do work, which ended up for a fake company. And then those guys got indicted because they fudged their reference letters to create this heating and plumbing company. And they had been doing work on the fire prevention systems, which, of course, they were doing the opposite. They were dismantling the fire prevention systems. And so if you have a fire up that high and it doesn't have a sprinkler system or anything on it immediately, you got a pretty good chance of at least part of the building falling down. And they made sure they would have maximum damage because it would be really embarrassing if you hit and then the sprinkler systems and stuff put out the fire before the next plane comes or, like within an hour it burns out. Like so. But if you don't have it, there's no way the fire department's going to get up there that quickly and stuff, especially if you sabotage all the elevators and so on. So
you sabotage all the elevators and put bombs up the first 12 floors of the building from the basement.
Yeah, you got the underground floors had parking garage bombs. That's where
that's
very similar to 93. The 93 plan was to blow up the George Washington Bridge and to blow one tower into the other. Right. That was Yusuf Ramsey's idea.
Now, how do you account for the supposed lake of lava under the site that was there for like days after?
It's not a lake of lava.
Okay,
but
that's what they say.
There was molten metal, but that's very different from molten iron or steel, right? Sure. There's a lot of aluminum and copper and other metals, but when you have if you ever made a bonfire on the beach or something, like we're just burning wood and you could throw a soda can in there and melt the aluminum and all that, and even the next day you could get that going again if you blew on it and stuff, if you never put water on it. If you have the underground parking garage level like bowl of concrete full of burning debris and stuff, and there's nothing down there, it's like a big chimney.
Right, but I'm saying is,
created at the bottom is going to be hot enough to melt.
How
metals.
would that be that hot were there not some sort of explosives? You know what I mean?
Well, I think there were explosives in the basement.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But it could get that hot from fires. So
I don't think fires and what would the planes hit? What floors? What were the
floors? Different one. It was 91 through 94, I think, on one of them.
Yeah, they're all way
it was
up
like
there. I don't see how.
It was in Kincaid and Fitzgerald.
What I'm saying is I don't see how, if there weren't explosives, how there would have been, such a bunch of...
Well, that fire didn't stay up there when the internal part of the story would be the internal part of the building all falls first, like hollows out. And so, gasoline and fire and all that stripping, everything ends up at the bottom at the end anyway. And it would continue to burn.
Right.
See, the indoor fires burn much, much hotter than just like a fire on the beach or something, an outdoor fire. If you look up flame temperatures and things, indoor fires do get hot enough to melt steel. But long before the melting point, it's going to lose 50% of its tensile strength. And still long before the melting point, it loses 90% of its tensile strength. But that doesn't matter either. It's the joints that are going to pop out first. And they're laid out there at every 32 feet. There's these joints, and it will cascade like that. It is not a goofy scenario. That absolutely would happen. But as far as like what you're talking about, like 28 acres of fire. I mean, these are really big buildings. It's like a forest fire level fire, and it's engulfed like at least 10 floors.
Sure.
That's really
Why
fucking
wouldn't
hot.
Something like that kind of an explosion happen anytime, like a plane? So 28. You said 28 acres. So in that case,
well, it's 1 acre per floor, right? Wasn't it 1 acre of space per floor, office space?
Okay, so by
that
measure, the amount of explosion and fire and whatever should have encompassed more of the Pentagon than it did.
No, I mean the Pentagon. A lot of that did blow up and go into the basement levels of the Pentagon. You can't see it because half the Pentagon's underground.
Right.
The Pentagon was built during the war, and it's actually got a stone facade on it. I've been on top of the World Trade Center before they came down, and it was very windy up there. That's another aspect.
It's also getting stoked by the wind because it's so high up. And the same
like when
thing if you ever play with fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's unimpeded too. The Pentagon's fire prevention systems were on, at least. The upper floors weren't really damaged much. The sprinkler systems came on, and the fire department was there immediately, because it's on the ground level. But the World Trade Center is generally hour of burning uncontrolled, and there's a big difference between that 2 minutes.
An hour of uncontrolled burning takes down a 100 and something story building. I don't know.
Well, it was assisted from below.
Sure. Well, the bombs theory, I'll use the word, is about knocking out key points so that you get that free fall into its own footprint. And but if you did them all at once, like you do in a professional demolition, then people would know. Right. So they're saying that all these random explosions are happening as they're weakening the building at key points leading up to the collapse.
Which was it? The South Tower, the whole top of it fell as one piece.
Mm-hmm. There's some evidence the mechanical room was on the 22nd floor or whatever was a big. A lot of people heard it and who survived. Even.
So you got in the mechanical room. There's just the people that have access to the fire control systems are going to have access to that. So, then those guys weren't they the ones that got caught with the fire suppression company? Weren't they Israeli?
Dinko Mechanical.
Yeah, were they Israeli?
They're from Jerusalem.
From Jerusalem, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that. They're driving Aero Trucks, which is the trucking company that Urban Moving Systems and White Glove and Max Movers and International Movers Inc. Those are the trucks they use. They just spray paint their logo on it, But that's where they were getting that outfit, and they had gotten a lot of fake IDs for lower rung, what I call the expungible privateers. Like if you get caught, you're on your own. Narcotics traffickers for ecstasy. And then that's why the art students are spying on the DEA. I meant to bring this up on Pat Millicent's show I was just on, but you want to control the ramp crews because if you look in the debris of 93 and stuff, they found like giant knives, mace, things like that. To get that on the plane, you got to get through security somehow. And it appears that what they did is the same way you get illegal drugs on planes. Like you have the ramp crew loaded up and pass it along. You just put a bag in the wrong place or whatever. Of course, on purpose. And I have had ramp crew employees confess this to me, telling me that, they know people that were visiting and talking to Israelis. And so this box cutter story is BS. But even the mass media stopped saying box cutters pretty shortly afterward, but it got disseminated so much because of YouTube. People would get the earliest reports and be like, look, they're all saying box cutters. They're saying box cutters. And, of course, Alex Jones would amplify that a zillion times. But even the press admitted, there was mace and knives, and it's on the air phone calls. It's in the transcripts of the Moussaoui trial. It's itemized in the debris of Flight 93, which they found the black box for, as well as 90-something% of the plane. It's in a zillion little pieces, but they have it. But that shows that there had to be some sort of collusion with security to be able to get those kind of weapons on board. And guess who was running the cameras, security, everything on all 4 airports?
Huh?
Norwegians.
Yeah, it was a Norwegian Eskimo.
Yeah.
It was. It wasn't Norwegians. Is what you're saying? Was it?
Yeah, it's not Norwegian.
Wasn't there a Bush? Wasn't it Marvin Bush involved in a lot of that?
No, that's he worked at in security at the WTC, but it's just some bullshit nepotistic job. He wasn't the head of security or anything like Jones. Anything you've ever heard from Alex Jones is bullshit.
Everything?
If he said the sky is blue, I would go check.
So I wasted. So the water filter, I shouldn't be drinking the water then?
He's just a performance artist. Just buy the damn Berkey.
I mean, that's pretty much the only thing I ever trusted from him.
A water filter is a water filter. I guess.
I mean, he started off as a humble water filter salesman. He never meant to.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's still getting censored.
I wonder if it'll
I still feel sorry for him.
filter out.
Yeah,
the,
but like
the
Horace
gay
and I have
frog
talked about, Misonius, is that as soon as this starts affecting his payment processors, then I'll start feeling bad for him. And in the meantime, if I'm going to start feeling bad for him, he's never felt bad for any of us when we lost our platforms or payment.
Exactly. When I got deplatformed.
Yeah, where was Alex Jones
last March?
When the Paranormies got deplatformed off Twitter and YouTube and SoundCloud? Like, where was Alex Jones? Nowhere.
I'm not going to give him the coat off my back, but
Bohemian hedonistic Bilderberg pizza party, gun confiscating Jade Helm FEMA overlords party there, doing 40 chess with Roger Stone and
now and honestly, all that is a very
and his T girls entertainment with female vitality.
Super she-male vitality.
Introducing super she-male vitality. Right. Is your T girl getting soft? Give her our supplements. It's only 1776. Get now.
But, Jesus Christ. Now, to be fair, that is a great meme, but yet some of the things you said have truth within them. So, yeah.
Oh, like that person had two legs or something? Like, I'm sure that level, sure.
Right.
No, I mean, fucking, okay, Bilderberg exists, but that's the bottom rung in think tanks. AIPAC's the one calling the shots, and he's not going to talk about them.
He won't, of course.
There are plenty of pedophiles in government, but there are no fucking tunnels underneath the pizza places. Like, that's stupid. And they're not going to confiscate your guns. They make way too much fucking money on arms sales to outlaw guns. It's not going to happen. But every time they act like it's going to happen, gun sales go up.
Well, I mean, guns is one of the few places where they just keep losing. I mean, we got carry permits in most of the states, but New York is going to throw a fit about paying for or enabling transactions. Like buying firearms and stuff.
Well, what I say is, and you can throw this at social justice fags, it's racist because of Chicago's gun ban that you get all this Dindu crime where black are killing blacks. So if you hadn't, if you didn't ban the gun, you wouldn't have all these black people dying. So actually the gun ban is racist.
Yeah, I think that's a good attack on the left just to shut them up. But what I learned from it is that when you actually train everyday people, how to use a weapon, not to be afraid of it, then they buy it and it just becomes legal. It's like carry permits is one of the few places where the right has won in the past 30 years. It's like the only place. I mean, we went from state to state, going from shall issue or may issue to shall issue, and I think that's great. I think we just got people less scared of guns, and that's what worked. All the money.
How do you feel about Nike? Just kidding. Kidding. Don't get him going.
No. I actually think Brad's internet took a shit, so we might not have to hear from Brad anymore tonight. So,
yeah, I think he left.
But anyways, where were
Alex,
we?
Alex is a charlatan bullshit artist. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's a charlatan bullshit.
He almost single-handedly made 9/11 into a giant tar baby. Because a lot of people I know who read my work or watched my work, and they're like, "Dude, you got it." But they don't want to say it publicly because they don't want to be associated with the Fetzers, Ickeys, Joneses, Wood, that believe in holograms or whatever. And so they just, in public, you don't want to say you're a 9/11 truther because they go, oh, my God, you're one of these. You think Sandy Hook is fake and this and that. And then, everything else that Jones says gets lumped into that just because he talks about 9/11 and then he talks about earthquake machines or something. Or fucking harp.
Harp. Harp. I was trying to think of what you were referencing.
The elite are moving. James Cameron's going to New Zealand. All the elite are going to go live in bunkers in New Zealand. They're going to release a biovirus and wipe out 80% of the. I got the documents. Rockefeller, Bill Gates. They're trying to kill 80% of the population. They think you're useless animals to feed.
Yeah, but at the same time,
George Soros. The communist Chinese.
That sounds. I'm sure if I were elite, that would sound great to me. It's like, let's go in our bunkers. Let's save the earth. So, I mean, it sounds plausible. That's why people listen to them. It's just there's no alternatives, man. It's like if you're very threatening to the elites. I mean, they take your voice away. They censor you. Mm-hmm. And so Alex Jones, he was enough of a showman to get on the radio where half of Texas could listen to him.
Right.
And he did it by himself. I'll give him credit.
Do you know why he got
did he really, though? Did he really do it by himself?
Well, you're thinking that he's controlled.
I think that at a certain point he was like given the free pass, and
I think they widely disseminate the charlatans.
Yeah,
it's the same thing that happens to religion, right?
They either let him in,
moderate
or
beast.
they he assisted. It was an assistant. It's like, did you don't just go from public access to having the huge, to having Donald Trump come on your show and talk about
2 million viewers.
Yeah, right. That doesn't happen. Happen.
Yeah, but then don't
unless
censor
you're like
him.
unless you're like
what's
some
the point
weird
in
Russian
him?
ASMR chick, and then you have 10 million subscribers.
The reason they censored Melonhead is because he did have a big platform, and although 99% of the time it's crazy sauce, over the last year and a half or so, he's just become like a right-wing Trump supporter. He's still a Zionist, he's still a piece of shit, and he still says outlandish, goofy stuff. But one of the things he did, the one thing he ever said that's true, because this guy has no filter, he thinks everything's a false flag, but he told all his listeners they're preparing a false flag in Idlib in Syria, which other reputable sources also say. And so they had to shut him down because he reaches more people than the reputable sources. The crazies, he's up there saying that. And he'll be like, I said there's going to be a false flag in Syria. So did every fucking person. But he'll get out in front of it, and he'll get all the credit for it or whatever, for predicting it or whatever. But they don't like somebody that has a huge Trump audience, because he's a diehard Trump supporter, had him on the show, Roger Stone on the show and stuff, to tell people that this is fake, that it's the white helmets that are going to gas people and blame it on Assad. That's the issue that he got the platform for, because they didn't care for years when he's been saying crazy shit and allegedly being anti-government or whatever. They didn't care what he said. It's when he told people the truth about Syria that he lost everything simultaneously.
Well, that's good for him. Good for him for saying
he finally did something right.
Sure.
Yeah. But let's go back to 9/11. I just, I feel, I don't want anyone censored. I want Alex to be able to, and I agree with you. It's like the real people that are a threat to the elite, if they speak, they get censored first.
Yeah,
and,
Peter Von Buren was censored. Scott Horton was censored. I was censored. Lots of people I said, but we don't get to be on TV and whine about it like Alex Jones.
Right. And
you're
like
right.
I said,
I mean, I get it.
When Alex Jones starts losing his payment processors and means of making money, then I might start thinking like, oh wow. But yeah, he's been deplatformed. He's still got an app that has like 6 million subscribers now. So,
those platforms are just like extra when you already have a few million on your website.
So I don't think it's really. I think the amount of news press that he's gotten, if you use the phrase "any press is good press," he's been in the news quite a bit, probably more than he ever thought he ever was going to be. So
far more than any other person that's ever been deplatformed.
But think about it. Think about it. A lot more people know who Alex Jones is now that he's been deplatformed, probably, than did while he had a platform.
That's right. All these people who never knew him before now know who he is.
Right. And how do we know that this isn't part of their big fucking script with this guy?
I don't think so. We don't know that, but I don't think so. I think they're just incompetent and trying to punish him for telling the truth on Syria. Sure. And it's going to backfire in their face because they're fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, things get complicated real easy in this world of conspiratorialism, of which I'm a part, right?
Right.
But
that's why we're all here.
I just view it as like, instead of burning your Nikes, why don't you just go buy New Balance? Or
he's still talking about the shoes.
No. Because we talked about it earlier. I wasn't talking about this.
Different guy.
Yeah, it was Bradshaw. But
you need to take a picture of yourself at Chick-fil-A with your New Balance shoes up on the table.
Giving the okay sign.
Yeah, you need to put your money where your mouth is. It's like we have all these grand schemes and stuff, but we got to live our everyday lives, right?
Right.
So it's like, go eat some Chick-fil-A, go buy some New Balance, and start making, throw some money at these people that you think are doing a good job. And I feel the same way about Alex. It's not like, I'll die on the cross of Alex Jones, but hey, he got censored. I'm glad that, he's going to get something. He needs a little something for that, for telling the truth.
Sure.
It's like, wow, it's your first censorship. Hooray. Welcome to the club.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like in Goodfellas when Henry first comes out of the courtroom. They're all like, "Hey, you broke your cherry," and they're all clapping for him. It's like that. Like in the mafia, you pull your first little heist. Yeah.
Yeah, it was his first conviction in court or whatever.
Yeah, when he was selling the cigarettes. That was one of my favorite scenes in that movie, and it's a whole other diversion. But like I said, until he starts losing money, I don't really feel bad for the guy. He was married to a Jew for a very long time. His kids are Jews. I think he's with another Jewish chick, actually, his new woman.
Yeah, his masseuse.
Yeah. So, I don't really.
I wonder if she has a penis. That's what he's been into.
Right. I mean, yeah, exactly. And then
how are we going
to talk about Alex Jones? How are we going to talk about Alex Jones? Not talk about the elephant in the room of him looking at fucking tranny porn, and Paul doing their due diligence figured out exactly what video that was and pulled up the screen grab.
Don't say tranny. It's just homosexual porn.
Right.
It doesn't matter if the guy's pretending to be a girl. It's still a dude fucking another dude.
It's look, it's gay. Traps are gay. I'm not on the traps are not gay bandwagon.
It's as gay as time travel. Yeah.
Which time travel makes you gay. It's yes.
Gayer than a cock flavored lollipop.
Gross. And I'm gonna forget what I was. I'm gonna forget where I was going with that now.
Yeah. We're on a fucking
square as a football bat.
Yeah.
No, it was 9/11 related.
$3 bill. Yeah.
It was somehow 9/11 related, but.
Hey, my favorite suicide mission was McCain's tumor.
Yeah. Well, I did say it was. McCain's daughter looked really. Her titties were almost as big as her dad's tumor, but
she's
a horrible human being too. She's another, just like she's in that
whole
group.
family.
Yeah, they're all bad people. So.
Tumors for them all.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy that helped dump depleted uranium all over Lebanon and Iraq. And then he dies of cancer. So call it karma, call it live by the sword, die by the sword. But he caused cancer to so many people, and then he died from a tumor.
Yeah.
Well, he's instrumental in the POW scandal. Like, just, forget there's no more POWs left in Vietnam. But
the sad thing is the typhoon in Japan that took out the airport here in Kansai. So the McCain Funeral World Tour is not going to come to Osaka now.
Oh, no.
That's really sad.
It is.
You were not joking about the world tour. Oh,
it's
my
like
God.
It's like the Olympic torch. It's like going everywhere.
McCain's making
flag.
I wonder if he's going to make it to Russia, and they're going to have a thing. I mean, is Putin going to do something? Probably not.
Well, wherever it goes, Putin will get blamed for anything bad.
Right. But
I mean,
back to
my nibba.
Back to 9/11. What haven't we covered? I mean, what's your? I mean, it was a Google building.
We just talked about dancing Israelis, and then we talked about bombs versus.
There's so much
how hot
stuff.
the fire.
Like there's the War Games Acts, which has screwed up the defense. There's the put options that were placed on. There's financial scandals. There's physical evidence that all point to who did it or who colluded into it. But I think there needs to be time spent on debunking the kook movement, because that's what's in the way. I don't have a hard time convincing someone the government lies, or the government's full of shit. It's easy.
Sure.
It's just that the official 9/11 explanation, there's also an official conspiracy theory as well, like with missiles and pods and whatever. That is what's so damaging to 9/11 truth, is people that think a plane went through 6 rings of the Pentagon. The rings are on the upper floors. They don't exist on the bottom floors. It take you 5 seconds to pull up the blueprint of the Pentagon and figure that out. And you got fucking architects and engineers giving a professional opinion about how the plane couldn't go through all these walls when there's no fucking walls there. You don't get to have an opinion about the architecture if you don't even know what the architecture even is, but they just signing their name on the shit. And it's like, because that's all that is. That group's like, we got like X number of engineers. And they're like, no, you went up to people and told them shit like, can a plane fit in a 15-foot hole? Like, of course not. Well, yeah, but it's not true.
So
There's a big 90-foot hole.
None of these architects or engineers did any sort of research.
They'll just
kinda
be like,
signed
do you support an independent investigation 9/11? Do you support an independent investigation 9/11? Until they say yes, and they're like, you're on our team. Like that counts as us.
That's some of them. Some of them done some good work making fun of NIST. You know, NIST is like, we're not even going to provide.
I got hold of have turned around and said a plane hit the building. Chandler and some of these now. All it took like one video of mine to go, oh fuck, I didn't see that. I didn't know that there weren't rings. I didn't know there was a giant fucking hole. I didn't know all this debris survived, that it does not claim to evaporate because it's there, and they didn't even look at it. I mean, Walter Reed has DNA of all the passengers except for the baby. It's all there, but if your premise is wrong, your conclusion is wrong, right? So loose change and all these fucktards, they get in and be like, tell people there's only like a tunnel, like a little hole, and that it's going through all these reinforced walls, and that the engine's disappeared, and of course all that's impossible. Like it's not going to evaporate the engine, it's not going to make a little tunnel, and it didn't. They lied, and so the government's lying, and then guess who finances these movies, by the way? Then these fuckers come in, loose change, Alex Jones, Jim Fetzer, Judy Wood, fucking Rebecca Roth, who took my movie and changed one letter. I had decades of deception. She made decade of deception, and she talked about Israeli art students, except she didn't talk about the actual Israeli art students. She talked about some Austrian art students who were actually fucking art students, and the B team gelatin and shit. And they were like, oh my God, look, there's like letters and numbers on a box. Like there's letters and numbers on every fucking box. Like, the charlatans came in and just shit all over 9/11 truth.
So are you talking, do you think it's intentional red herring or reckless?
Yes, they purposely, they'll take a story that's true. Like the dancing Israelis is true. They got fucking arrested, right? Then they'll come out with some story and be like, hey, did you know about the van with the mural painted on it of a plane, a remote control plane? Like you can tell that from a painting or whatever, diving into the skyline in New York. Like that's a bullshit story. But they put that out there on purpose so that when that gets debunked, the other van bomb stories seem like it's part of that, right? Same thing with the airphone calls. Those are real calls. People call. It fucks up the official story if you listen to what those calls are saying. Like there's only 3 hijackers in 93 instead of 4, that they have mace, that they have knives. Like those calls are telling you the truth. This is backed up by the debris found from the plane crash. But they're like, oh no, you can't make a call on a cell phone. Like it's an airphone for one. But then they come out with one fake call, right? Debunk the fuck out of it and be like, so now you can dismiss all the calls because they don't want you to figure it out. And so the van thing, the phone thing was another one. They'll come out with some bullshit, absolute bullshit, and say, see, that's what that's all about. Like art students. There was a
you have the red herring conspirators.
Spying. Yeah. And they'll be like, they'll look at Rebecca Roth's fucking art student story in the towers and how stupid it is to be like, oh, you see that box B-188 or whatever, that's like some military grade explosive, blah blah blah, and it is not. Those are the guys that made the Ill America music video and stuff. It's a real, but now when you Google Israeli art students, instead of going where it used to and talk about the DEA being spied on by these motherfuckers, it goes to the world of ridiculous. And that's the same thing with truck bombs and stuff. It goes right to the mural shit with fucking Photoshop thing. I've got pictures of the real trucks and stuff if you want to see. I'll throw it up on Skype.
Right. But at the same time, the official investigators didn't do their job. There's all sorts of evidence they're just sitting on. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Pentagon is a highly surveillanced building. And
yeah, but the camera, can you see that? There's that.
Yeah, I see it.
Right. The camera Pentagon thing, this is another one. Like, there's 85 cameras. Why don't they release the video? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. Or 87 camera myth is based on an affidavit trying to get evidence about 9/11, which includes cameras in New York. That's where the numbers come from. They're not 87 fucking cameras on one side of the Pentagon. And the cameras that were at the Pentagon at the parking lot are there to design filming people walking in and out of the building and parking cars, not a plane going across at 300 miles an hour at 1.5 seconds or whatever. You're only going to get like 5 frames, and that's all you did get. And that's all there is. And it is.
Well, the FBI went by the hotels in the area and got their video surveillance too. And
yeah,
so
because they were looking for it, but none of it shows the impact.
we have to
They're
take their
not filming.
word for that. Though.
They don't
Right.
usually allow people to film the fucking Pentagon from gas stations. The Pentagon films itself. They don't let other people
Sure.
film you.
Sure. I mean,
Well,
but like,
yo.
here's the thing, though. I'm working in a building
Witnessed
that
by
has,
all of 395, 495. Like so many people saw the plane fly to the Pentagon.
Yeah, I think it's
no one saw
obvious
it fly
it's
away. But yeah, I
But-
mean, there's debris of the plane still in the building. Like, there's no argument. But
Yeah, but there was also there should be like 2 hours of them talking in the cockpit. There's all sorts of evidence that the official investigators just don't show you. You know,
they don't
And,
want. Well, that's the cockpit stuff. They're not going to release. They're like, they found the black box, but the recorder thing's destroyed or whatever they say. Could have been, but
one
most
of the
likely
black boxes.
you can't.
Well,
The-
most
well,
of them
the-
are gone, right?
93 they found 93 and 77.
right.
So the Pentagon they got, and in Shanksville they got.
Supposedly.
The World Trade Centers, they're never going to find that.
Right,
You know,
they'll
but
never find that.
well,
And all that debris that they
but
shipped off to China.
But the transcripts of the 93 cockpit thing really fucks them up because Ziad Al-Jarrah is supposed to be the pilot of that plane. And yet all the airphone calls say there's 3 hijackers, not 4. And even the hijackers themselves refer to Saeed Gamal, who is the other pilot. They tell him up, down. They're like, and yelling his name, knowing he's talking about Al-Jarrah. Okay, so even the other fucking hijackers refer to the pilot not as Al-Jarrah. There's no evidence of Al-Jarrah being on there, except for miraculously they found his passport with just a little corner burned on it or whatever.
Oh yeah,
A few months after 9/11, Al-Jarrah's first cousins, plural, got busted spying for Israel in Lebanon. His uncle is a politician. Ali Al-Jarrah and Youssef Al-Jarrah were both busted. You can look this up in U.S. papers even. A 9/11 hijacker had first cousins working for Israeli intelligence. And all the voice box and all the phones and everything collaborates to be like he was not on that plane.
well, who was it who
why
found
would they
the
not want to
passport?
release the box? You know,
Yeah. Well, who was it who found that passport? He went on to do something in Iraq for the Bush administration and then go to
No,
prison.
you're thinking about the Al-Shahi passport found in New York. I'm talking about the passport in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
It's different. Bernard
even know
Carrick,
they
you
found
were
a
thinking
passport
of
in
Bernard
Pennsylvania.
Carrick, month before 9/11. I said this yesterday too, but he was in Israel on August 26th to 29th. Met with Ertime Wertheimer, got a $250,000 loan, went and kissed the ring, kissed the wall, and all that. Gets this loan in a very weird way. The New Yorker and these papers are reporting on it because this fucker, he's a police commissioner. He ended up going to jail for 10 years for
Yeah.
fraud. I mean, he's working with the Gambino and Giavessi mafia syndicates. He's a real piece of shit and not hard to compromise, you know. And he went along with it, and he answered all of Giuliani's hard questions about the truck bombs and the people arrested in the van. He's like, yeah, we got, and Giuliani just, you know, he's smart enough. He was a lawyer. He defers to Carrick. And Carrick took the fall, and Carrick went to jail. But he said that an unnamed person just handed that passport to an officer. I'm like, oh yeah, you got like ankle knee deep debris everywhere, and someone just finds a paper passport, and it's of one of the hijackers. I mean,
Oh, sir,
that
look,
day,
we found this. We found this in the wreckage, sir.
it's not impossible, but it's really,
Yes, it
really
is.
improbable. But they needed to get.
No,
It's pretty much impossible.
It's
Yeah, like-
impossible. Come on.
and it not only did it not burn, but they found it, and it's ridiculous. But they found these 2 passports, one in Pennsylvania of a guy who apparently wasn't flying the plane, and no
Right.
one saw who was on the plane.
Right.
But the Jonestown stuff's like, don't listen to the airphone calls. Those are fake. It's all about because they don't want you to know what those calls say, because that leads back to Israel. So his job is to make the kosher version of 9/11, to be like, there's no plane hitting the Pentagon, because if you know about the hijackers on Flight 77 that trace back to an Al Qaeda summit meeting in Malaysia that CIA was aware of and never informed the FBI of, and that these guys were getting money through intermediaries, Omar Bayoumi and Osama Basnan, for Prince bin Turk Fasil and Bandar Bush, that goes right back to state sponsorship of 9/11. But it's based on FBI field office reports from the West Coast. But whoa, if you start reading those, then you got to read the FBI field office reports on the East Coast. And guess who they talk about? Israel, up and down, all over the place. So Jones's job is to tell people it's a missile. phones don't work. Hijackers are still alive, and to make it fucking retarded, but also cut off that paper trail that goes back to the CIA, that goes back to the Saudis, that goes back to the Israelis, the three intelligence agencies that covertly worked on this the same way they did around Contra, the same way they're doing in Syria.
Like
this is their
does
niche.
Go back that way though. Like with what was the?
He does talk about Israel.
No, he doesn't talk about it.
The one thing ever written about it was by
Fabled
Steve
Enemies.
Watson.
His Fabled Enemies. Did you ever see that?
I don't know.
It's
Maybe
one
I
of
saw a lot of 9/11.
his earlier ones where it's like, okay, we're not going to talk about the towers. We're just going to talk about all the connections to all the intelligence agencies. And it was how how all the FBI fucked up, and it was all the same stuff. And I guess it kind of goes along with what you were saying, how but there's no tie to Israel.
Is this the one? I think it was Terror Storm or whatever. Where they showed the anthrax letters and blurred out the Death to Israel stuff.
Yeah.
Blurred it out.
I forgot about
purposely.
that.
Yeah, he's very philo-Semitic. Well, I mean, Ryan, while I got you on here, do you think this all starts with Ariel Sharon? Who do you think this idea starts with? I mean, who is the author of 9/11, the original idea man?
Well, the first guy that actually said it was Ramzi Youssef. I mean, he had the Bojinka plot in the Philippines to hijack commercial airliners and run them into targets in the U.S., and he bombed the World Trade Center in 1993 and escaped.
Yeah,
he's working with the FBI though.
Sure.
Yeah.
He didn't know that, but they knew it.
Yeah, an Egyptian army officer was started recording his
Salim.
own. His own handler. When the handler's like, just use real explosive,
Yeah. He's like, I don't think that's a good idea. I should probably start recording you now.
Yeah, I'm going to record you. Yeah.
But most likely he got it from KSM, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. He seems to have been the smart one. And so that was his
Khalid Sheikh
idea.
Mohammed
And
is the Ron Jeremy looking dude, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he does. They shot him in the balls and shaved off his beard.
Oh, Jesus.
So, fuck that guy. But, they got to have him under lock and key and be like, you are not going to say a word. Because some of these people don't mind dying, but they do not want to be humiliated.
Oh, and
so they made sure, look what we did to him, better shut your mouth, Salahiri.
I believe it came from your videos where you talk about, Jews would never, these are Israeli hijackers that crashed planes. These are actually Israelis who would die for what?
It's Al-Qaeda. I mean, but Al-Qaeda is not separate from intelligence agencies. It's not Israelis.
It's easier to use real Arabs and airplanes is basically the gist of it. Yeah.
It's easy. They don't like to get skin in the game. Israel always loves to pawn it off.
But don't they actually have suicide?
They have Arab Israelis.
But don't they have suicide soldiers? There's been I don't remember who was telling me, but
they have done that when they were more desperate. But as they've gained power,
they're like, yeah, if you're captured, there is no chance of rescue, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think the Israelis have a saying about Arabs. It's like you can't buy an Arab, but you can sure rent one. And with enough money, you can get Arabs to do your bidding in anything. Yeah, and you can just lie to them about who the original sponsor is if you need some dupes involved in an operation. So a lot
of them know. A lot of these Wahhabi, Salafists and Sunni tribalists and stuff in Syria, they know they're getting money from the U.S. and Israel. They don't care. They're like, we're going to use this to kill the Shia first, and then we're going to stab the Americans in the back. Yeah, they're just planning to stab you in the back later. It's like people playing Brutal Age or whatever. They're making all these alliances thinking, haha, down the road I'm going to turn on them. And the other guy's thinking, haha, down the road I'm going to turn on them.
But it sounds like what Israeli intelligence are Israeli intelligence, and then so you need some Saudis. You need some Saudi dupes.
You need Dick Cheney in the bunker.
Well, you need someone inside that knows the war games going on and such.
Now
you need someone in the United States.
Ryan, sure that the plane hits because he's like, it's 30 miles out, it's 20 miles out. They're talking about the Pentagon.
Right.
They're not talking about Shanksville.
Right. No, they're talking about the Pentagon.
Fucking Hanjur, and Hanjur might not have been the pilot because there could have been a sixth man You should see 6 on 77. We did a movie about it, but there may have been another guy. But whoever's flying that plane, could have been Hanjer, could have been the other guy, came in too high and had to turn around and then come back to the Pentagon a second time at a lower altitude. And so they're sitting there saying, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And then suddenly it takes a right-hand turn, and they're like, woo. And then it's coming back. So they had 2 times they could have shot that out of the air. And Cheney's like, of course the order still stands, and he would not let them take any action. Then tries to say they were talking about Flight 93.
Right.
There's no way, because Flight 93 is not 20 miles from anything.
Right. Yeah, they try to have the Secret Service, mess up, and they only got them in the POC at 10:03 a.m. when everything's already over.
There's pictures up there with Mineta and Rice and Clark, and if you read Clark's book, I did this Rosetta Stone shit already. Like, he was there earlier than anybody says.
Yeah,
Mineta was right, basically.
Yeah,
right. His deposition's right.
Well, that's
Mineta,
why he got an
right?
airport named after him.
Mm-hmm.
Transportation Secretary.
San Jose, yep, exactly. Transportation Secretary, San Jose International Norm Mineta Airport.
Well, so, basically Cheney was preventing them from shooting this motherfucker down, and then it hit the Pentagon. And then the 9/11 Commission changed time in order to absolve him of any responsibility for the Pentagon strike. Is that
You know who the chairman of the 9/11 Commission is? Lee Hamilton.
Right.
Yeah, who worked with fucking Dick Cheney, was his co-chair in the Tower Commission in Iran-Contra, which involves some of these same
It's always
fuckers,
the same
Wolfowitz,
band
Dean,
of criminals every single time.
Yeah.
I don't want to say every single time, but every single
all
time.
the way back to Kennedy.
Right.
This goes.
Right.
Yeah, the Warren Commission was full of Kennedy's enemies, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, guys like Kissinger were there through all of it. Yeah. And he was almost picked
Henry
to
Kissinger's
be the
been
fucking...
there. He just gave a speech
He was the first...
at McCain's funeral, and he was there when Kennedy got shot.
Yeah. He was there for Kennedy. He was there for all of it.
Yeah, he looked like a creature at McCain's funeral.
Oh, yeah. He looked like what did they call him on South Park? The Jew aliens? They were like...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he looked like a caricature from the 1920s.
He did.
So.
Well, they do. That's what happens when they get. Look at Jon Stewart. Look at these. Look what they do when they get old. Look how it happens. As long as they don't keep eating, they keep getting their foreskins. They stay young. All right. How much of 9/11 do we think was an offer of foreskins to Moloch? No. I mean, probably.
Asking the tough questions.
Hold on. I mean, like the numbers 9/11 and all that stuff, like, to get into like more paranormies type shit, that there's a lot of ritual type stuff, surrounding those numbers. And do you think that there's a possibility?
Are there any numbers under 20 that don't have ritualistic stuff?
Sure, but 9 and 11. No, I know, but like 9 and 11 are like extra special. And it happens over and over again in history. Like the first time they were going to do it was on 9/11.
Yeah, the partition of Palestine was on 9/11.
Right. I mean, like they use that number a lot. Do you think there's any sort of significance to that, or do you think it's just like some stupid, weird thing that their scheduling app does for them?
They were going to do it before, but the weather botched it. And I think they wanted to have Tuesday where the stock market would close long enough for the week to the weekend. But I don't think there's any kind of numerological specialty to it or anything. The mayor election was on that day, but it seemed like they wanted to do it even earlier. But as far as Al-Qaeda choosing it, it would be Al-Qaeda, right? Picking the day.
Sure.
Like the CIA. Let's do it on September 11th or whatever. They're saying it's all going to be this day, whatever. It's not like, let's go on a Tuesday. It'll be a little bit cheaper. Like, they had plenty of money.
It's the CIA.
I think if it had been on 9/10 or 9 whatever, you can always find something after the fact that sort of matches with some sort of mystical number jumbo, but I don't see anything special about it. However, saying all that.
Well, what's your take?
Some of these guys really love to dog whistle, and numbers is one of the ways they do it.
Sure. That's one thing, but what is your take on the fact that some of these people in power, these elites, these whatever they are, they actually do get into some of these weird ritual type things?
Yeah, a lot of their weird rituals are just post college fraternities where they can continue to engage in sexual promiscuity and, well, kitty fucking and things like that. It's something, it might be part of the psychology of people in power that you can buy whatever, have whatever. Mm-hmm. So they molest people. It's a sense of power for psychopaths. And they make these little cliques and do it together.
Yeah, I think there's an aspect of like you notice how deeply compromised the superstars always are, like McCain. They didn't get Stockdale, they got McCain. A guy that actually cooperated with the enemy, and they're easy to blackmail.
Or somebody like that who had been raping little boys for 10 years, and he gets to be Speaker of the House. Gingrich, they're always like at minimal cheating on their spouse or something, and from there to the darkest of the dark,
Yeah, and then you become a secret sharer. So you find someone who's already blackmailable because you control them somewhat, and then you can share a horrible secret like kid touching.
You can promote them up through the political ladder because they're compromised. You can do the same thing with people in media. Like, let's say somebody had this super dark secret that they like tranny porn.
Okay.
Yeah, perfectly hypothetical here.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
Just saying. And they get like a 2 million member audience, and all they do is fucking associate crazy shit to conspiracies, like it's their job or something.
Okay.
Just saying, hypothetically.
Yeah, hypothetically.
Like some guy in Texas with like a melon type head and pointy boots and a big old walrus gut and a gravelly voice. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of picturing
kind of like balding the front enough so that his head, like he's selling, let's say he was selling like male supplements and he's got 5 chins.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
He's definitely from the barber race.
I wouldn't buy pills from him again.
Again.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
He's selling iodine, like Fukushima radiation's in California. Oh, be afraid. I stole a term from the last podcast I was on. They talked about hope porn. Alex Jones is fear porn. QAnon is hope porn.
Yeah.
Hope porn, huh? Nice. I like
that. I like that one. I'm gonna Israel that
just
term.
Trust the plan. Everything's going to be okay. It's
Trust
hope porn.
Trust the plan. Israel's last.
Right. Israel's last, everybody. That's the thing. Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. Q predicted it.
I piss people off with that all the time. I'm like, I was like, you know what? They're like, don't say it. I'm all, Q predicted this.
It's in the comments.
But
he put up 50 numbers and one of them was right.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, the Q thing. I got a little bit excited for 5 minutes, and I'm like, that's stupid.
It's like horoscope Nostradamus nonsense.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. And I have people I respect, like, look into this. And like, wow, you were up late at night on the internet and you got sucked into Spookadoo, didn't you? And they're like, yeah, I looked at it later, like with a sober mind. I'm like, yeah, this is ridiculous.
But it's a funny meme. We could
make
a lot of
meme.
Yeah.
Sure.
Make a lot of hay out of that one. I'm with Q.
I just have like a Q avatar, and underneath everybody's tweet. All right, I knew you were going to say that. I got to bounce, guys.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. No, I was just about to finish it up.
I like having a little bit lighthearted and talking about Nike and all that because, I've been talking about 9/11 for 17 years, so I need to take a break from it. It's already too soon.
I get it, man. Well, do you want to come on Rebel Yell sometime before you leave here?
Yeah.
We can talk about some mafia conspiracies and stuff if you like. Or something like
that's
that.
another one of my fortes.
Yeah, I like mafia stuff too.
RFK.
Oh, we can do
like
this.
That.
We can do this we can do this again for sure, guys. But let's close this up tonight. We're gonna have Bradshaw. He's gone, but he's gonna read us a creepypasta and
go to the bar.
Yeah,
and get a 9/11.
Yes, go to the bar, get a 9/11. Don't get a Holocaust because they don't exist. But
ask for that second. Ask for the 9/11. So you already get them riled up, and they go, "What's that?" And you tell them it's a Manhattan with 2 kamikazes. And they were like, "Well, we don't have that. Can I have a Holocaust?" And they're like, "What's that?" We're like, Oh, this is something everybody talks about, but it doesn't exist. And if you want to get them even more pissed off, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh, no. Go ahead, Ryan. Finish it up.
We can keep it real. I'm gonna get somebody beat up, and they're gonna be like, Ryan Dawson told me to ask you these highly offensive drink names, and I got my ass kicked.
Nobody's gonna. A lot of people aren't gonna. Most bartenders aren't gonna.
No one's listening to this. Don't worry. No, just kidding.
Well, not many bartenders are gonna know who Ryan Dawson is, because I don't think many bartenders are really into 9/11 like facts.
Yeah. Well, it'll just be some super lefty like Jarrett Holt on my ass about it. So, but yeah, don't go ask for 9/11 at the bar. Tell someone else to do it and witness it.
All right.
I gotta bounce, guys.
Thanks, Ryan. Take it easy, man.
See ya. Bye.
I'm right.